I think my Estes filled it out. Okay.
Oh my god.
Do you want to type her answers?
I was reading over it yesterday and I was like, wait, why are they giving me the answers?
I know, I opened it and I was like, wait a minute, why are there answers there? Okay.
Yeah, I was like, respect, but alright.
I guess my Estes did it all.
Yeah,
Well, I
he
guess
basically did. I don't know, looking over it, do you guys want me to add anything? I mean, we know his answers are legit.
We could just hear yours. We'll just because we're
recording you.
Is
Sorry.
it okay if we record the call?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so we just have to record like you telling your answers.
Okay, so track basically it covers multiple different types of training, anywhere from flexibility training because you want to be flexible, you want to open up your hips, you want to be able to not pull any muscles when you're working. So really, really good warm-ups, really good cool-downs help with that. There's also other things. Plyometrics are really good for when you're working on that flexibility. Strength and resistance is really helpful as well. Building up those muscles in the legs and even the arms. You want the whole body, especially a strong core, really helps the runner run faster. And then resistance training. We have done a lot of this in the past when I was coaching with Dom, when the girls would be on those bands when they're starting in the starting blocks. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of the resistance and they have to power through that. Or even using resistant bands to strengthen at the same time. Training with heavier things. So when you're not training, when it's not training, then it's a little bit easier. If that makes sense. So if you're training with something heavy, then you take it off, then it's a lot easier to run. Circuit training is huge, especially when I was coaching long and triple jump. Circuit training involves things like jumping over the little banana hurdles, mm-hmm. Doing agility on the agility ladder, or just quick burst of sprints, things like that, going from one activity to the next, being able to strengthen all different areas of the body. And then interval training, definitely do a lot of this through different forms of running and different intervals. That could be a distance interval or a time interval, anything like that. Again, plyometrics are super huge. Those are good for just the training or even to help with the strengthening and opening up the flexibility and things like that. Continuous training, I think that across the board, that's good for any sport. And I'm noticing that when I was doing some private coaching lessons, the girls that I could tell she was pretty out of shape because she wasn't doing the continuous training. Mm-hmm. The more training, the better, because then you can be able to keep up with your your endurance. Mm-hmm. And fartlek training, we do this. The kids don't always love it, but it is very good for them. It helps to take a little bit of a slower runner and get them up to pace with the other runners. And then cross training, track in itself is cross training. You have to train every single part of the body. You train a little bit differently for sprints. You train a little bit differently for long distance. You do a little bit different for jumps, a little bit different for throwing. But if you do multiple of those things, you're training everything. And really for track, you need every part of your body in order to be successful. Okay.
Thank you.
Number 2. Let's see. For each athlete noted below, choose the types of training you think would be beneficial to the athlete's performance. So, did he put this high jumper and triathlete?
Oh, we put that.
Okay. So for a high jumper, kind of like Dominic had said, you definitely need the flexibility. You got to be able to arch that back over the pole. Strength and resistance would be huge. So kind of all of those things that we talked about in the beginning, mm-hmm. with the circuit training, the interval training, plyometrics, continuous training, track, just basically each one of those keeps building on that. You need every single one of those aspects in order to be successful. A huge thing in order to, when you feel like you're plateauing, a good thing to do is continue that strength and that flexibility, because the more strength you have, the more power you can have. And then the flexibility will not stiffen your muscles and help you be a little more flexible to get over, for this instance, the high jump pole.
Mm-hmm.
And then same thing for triathlete. I mean, that's a huge cross training. That's you're touching on every single thing. Dominic doesn't know how to spell continuous. I'll fix it. And so that one, I mean, you also, a big thing with that is being able to take care of your body in that whole time. So if you're not doing that warming up and that cooling down with the plyometrics and the flexibility, you're probably not going to be successful in that. So, cool. So for under training or overtraining or overreach, things like that, this can be huge. So if you're under training, you're not going to have the endurance to last. You're going to stall out. Even on a 200, you're not going to be able to. I mean, it takes so long to get the body going that by the time, if you're under training, you're not going to be able to, you're not going to be able to last. So even a 200 is going to seem like too much. And I'm sure we've all felt this. It takes so long to train, but it's so quick to lose it.
Exactly.
You can also get hurt when you're under training, because your body's just not capable, and you're going to get tired. You're going to pull something or start acting in a lazy form and hurt yourself. Same thing with overtraining. You can hurt yourself. You got to give your body time to rest, and then making sure that you are warming up and cooling down, so you are stretching those muscles. Or different temperatures can also affect it. If you're overtraining and your muscles are strained or stretched or overreached, then you're going to end up tearing things. You're not going to be able to recover as well. And it could have long-term effects or short-term effects, like Dominic said. Type of flexibility training. So every day when they get there, they run their quick little couple of laps to get their muscles going, and then they do different trainings, the static training, but mostly in the warm-up. I like to do the dynamic stretching because it's movement. You're getting your body warm. By the end of your warm-up, you should be having a little bit of a sweat, because that means you're actually doing it. You're actually stretching and getting those muscles warm to be active. And then towards the end, it's really good to do a cool down lap and just walking it. You can walk it backwards with your toes in and out, just to get the lactic acid out of your body. Hanging your legs upside, or you're like sitting down and your legs are up in the air, is good to drain all that lactic acid out as well. Along with the static stretching at the end to really get your muscles cooled down and ready for whatever's afterwards. So a good warm up and a good cool down.
Okay, awesome.
And then, good. So yeah, the static stretching, the dynamic. I'm not sure what you wrote there.
I was like, why did he give us the definition?
I know. I was like, okay, thank you, Dom.
Appreciate it.
You gave the answers, I'll give the verbal. Have you experienced athletes who suffer from overtraining? Yes, I have. I see this all the time, and they're usually the silent athletes, the ones that are not saying anything. They're becoming tired. You can just see it in their face. They are getting frustrated because they're constantly failing. And it's not that they don't have the ability. It's just that they need to give their body a rest. And they can work on it by, strength training and things like that. But once you're in that overtraining portion, it's really hard to come out, and you do have to give yourself time to recover and make sure you are doing those things that we mentioned before, the warm-up and the cool-downs, in order to help avoid that. But it's pretty intense. I mean, I've experienced it as an athlete myself, so definitely don't get there.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, physically and mentally. It affects them in both of those ways. Physically, you just want to keep going and doing it, and it's athletes that are the true athletes, and they just don't want to stop. Oh, sorry, there's the bell.
Good.
Oh, wait. Okay. So physically they become tired, and this is a good time when they would, not a good time, but it's a time where they can hurt themselves. And then mentally they're just frustrated and down on themselves, beating themselves up, and it's because they just need to take a couple of days maybe to rest or get their body re-stimulated so they can continue on. Okay. During your transition, postseason, a lot of the, preparation, preseason. So I think preseason is good, but it's, you definitely don't want to do too much in preseason. Like preseason's like, okay, I don't know what they were doing in the off time. You know what I mean? They could have been in another sport and maybe they're ready to go. They could have been sitting on their couch eating potato chips. I don't know that. So being able to get to different levels, I like to use the grass or strength training during this time to kind of get them ready for it. And then we progress to getting on the track, because overuse on the track increases shin splints and other things. The track's just hard and we don't have a nice new track. So we definitely have to be careful with that and train them in a nicer environment for their body so that they're good for the actual season. And in the competition phase, then we're hardcore training the whole time. Of course, beginning of the week it's pretty hard. Then you have your field event days where it's not as hard, and then the end of the week is usually pre-meet, which is you're getting ready for the meet. So it's the week develops on each other, but you want to have a couple of hard days in there for hardcore training. And that's why the preseason is very important, because it helps them be able to do that hard training and not hurt themselves. And then the postseason, typically after state, we're pretty much done. We go into summer. And like I said, I don't really know where they go. A lot of them do other sports, and you can tell the ones that do other sports in that time because they are ready to go when it comes to preseason. Yeah. Kind of, because we do have that whole summer off and then most of the winter, and then we get going. Right. So, all right. Microcycles. Okay, so I think I kind of touched on this one too. Let me read this. Yeah, so in the week, like I said, you have a couple of hard days where you're really going, and then you move into, so like what I like to do is Tuesday, Thursday is field events days. So you have a workout or some sort of a circuit training, and then they go and work on their field events. Monday, Wednesdays are pretty hard. You're having an intense workout. And then Thursday could sometimes be pre-meet, or Friday is. And pre-meet is where you're working on everything, starting blocks, handoffs, your field events, everything. Right. And then you have meets either Friday or Saturday for the most part. So, yeah. Is that all the questions?
Yeah, I think that works. Thank you.
Chelsea.
I like how Dom didn't answer the last one.
For one of them, he just put yes.
I couldn't even follow this.
I know. It's kind of funny. He did his best.
Oh, for the entire season. I guess I didn't add on that too. For the entire season, they, like I said, in preseason, we're getting them ready, getting them that endurance built up. And then when season goes, we work pretty hard. Then that first meet, then we get into that more of that, the micro cycle, where it's a little more compact. And then by the time of state, they're pretty worn out. They're pretty tired. So it's just maintaining. I mean, they already know what they're doing.
Right. Hopefully.
So by that point, well, hopefully, yeah. If you made it to state, I hope you know what you're doing. So by that time, we're kind of just maintaining and fine-tuning things. Just keeping them healthy. Yeah. So, yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is that good? You guys?
That was perfect.
This is fantastic. Thank you.
Now we've got Dom's. We'll see how that goes.
Are you calling him now?
We're going to call him at 10:30.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, we'll see how. I mean, his answers are already there, so he's just going to read them. Just kidding.
Basically.
All right, thank you,
I love it.
Chelsea.
Thank you.
You're welcome, ladies. Let me know if you need anything else.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you. Have a good
day.
rest of your day.
You too.
Love
Bye,
you.
ladies.
Love you.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.